Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda and I'm here with my brother Eric.
How's it going, everybody? We are here getting to the end of Friends Season 6. We have the one where Ross meets Elizabeth's dad and the one where Paul's a man. So really, like, our Bruce Willis moment is today. And then I think we'll probably finish up Season 6 next week, right? 3 episodes altogether.
Yes. Yeah. I think that makes the most sense to me. That's
what we did the last time.
And I love that these two just happen to be grouped together too. I feel like this has happened to us a few times where they just happen to be paired up in the perfect way for us to talk about them, because these 2 episodes with Bruce Willis, man, I just love these so much. I love the interactions between Ross and Bruce Willis. They always make me think back to when I learned about how Bruce Willis came to be on Friends.
Okay.
And that is with when Chandler, Matthew Perry, was doing the movie. Oh my goodness, Eric. Now I am, of course, in the moment. I did not write this down. What is the name of that movie? Hold on.
The Whole 9 Yards.
Thank you, Eric. Oh my goodness.
I only know this. I have to admit, I only know this because my wife told me this exact story while we were watching it. So go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. So, it's just the fact that they were on the movie together, and he said to Bruce Willis, if this movie does really well, then you have to cameo on Friends. Like, they made a deal basically, and the movie did really well. I don't know if it won a specific award, but yeah, the movie, I think, broke a certain number of, like, it stayed as number 1 for a certain period of time. And then Bruce Willis agreed to be on Friends at that point. And just
kind of a shocking movie to have done that well, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great movie.
Such a good movie.
It's a really good movie.
Right?
It still holds up, I think. And
it is.
It's just one of those ones, though, that I would not have pegged as being number 1, if that's what it was. Like, number 1 seems to be reserved for, like, very dramatic movies, and this was a comedy. And watching Bruce Willis in a comedy too was really good, and he is very good on Friends as well.
Yeah, Bruce Willis guest starred on Friends as Paul Stevens for 3 episodes in seasons. Is he in 3? Is there going to be a third one with him?
Yeah, he's got one more.
After losing a bet. Yeah, he lost a bet. Willis appeared for free, donating his pay to charity after Perry bet the movie would be number 1 at the box office. So there it is.
There you go.
Okay, so but I agree. It seems like a random movie, but Bruce Willis was such a massive star at that point.
Oh, yeah.
And
huge.
And also just Matthew Perry being in Friends. It was just a perfect combo at the perfect time at that point in history. And I liked it. The second one was not as great, but that first movie, I will definitely go back and watch it. It's a really funny one.
The second one was fine. It was fine.
Seeing Bruce Willis now, I know his health is it's really heartbreaking to see him too, because he was such an amazing and just poignant character of our time. And it's just, I know that he's just really struggling now with his health, and really it's a form of, he just has a neurological disorder. I don't know what the name is off the top, but I know that he really doesn't remember any of the filming of his movies, and really has a hard time struggling.
That's right. I heard that as well, and that's shocking to hear that, that
I know.
That because he's not that old, and to see him struggling and to see him not know what any of his filming was, like that he's lost all that memory, that's tough. That's tough. That's got to be tough for his family members, and just kind of hope for the best for all of them.
Frontotemporal dementia. So I'd never heard of that before.
No.
And it's just a progressive neurological disease. Yeah. So it's just, it's great to look back and just see how funny and lively he was, and just I don't know it. I liked rewatching this for that reason.
I think
too.
To me, the thing with the whole 9 yards and the thing with Friends is that you got to see Bruce Willis in a really funny role when I think most people think of him as Die Hard and like an action hero.
And The Sixth Sense, right?
Yeah.
Like those two things that are, just obviously more serious. But he has such a deadpan, dry sense of humor, and he's like, so funny in roles like this.
Being the dad that Ross has got to attempt to impress is just so good. Like it's perfect casting. So yeah.
The lines, some of these are so brutal, and him against Ross, who just is trying so hard here to get him to like him. Oh Lord, this is craziness. But just as a reminder, before we jump into this episode, just as a reminder of where we left things off, we had Ross struggling with Elizabeth going on spring break. Woohoo!
Yep.
We also had Monica, Chandler, and Phoebe trying to help Rachel find a date for her work event. And then after actually missing his audition, Joey then ended up securing a starring role as Mac in the new TV series Mac and Cheese. So that's, and we left things off last week with the one flashback episode that really was very low scoring for me in particular, and I don't think you were really a huge fan of it either. But
no, I wasn't.
Sort of
I liked
a throwaway episode. Yeah,
it was. I liked it more than the other flashback episode, but it still was not good. The fans rated it a 7.1, which is really low for Friends. Yeah. So we'll see how these two here do today. I am optimistic that they will be better than that.
I know for me they are, for sure.
Well, for me they for sure will be. So this is Friends season 6, episode 21. It is the one where Ross meets Elizabeth's dad. And in this, we obviously meet Bruce Willis as Elizabeth's dad. And we have him enter where Ross is attempting to get on his good side as the new boyfriend. And of course, with the circumstances around their relationship, it is very difficult to do. Phoebe is at the same time writing her second book, which no one knew she wrote a first one, but she's writing her second one. And this one is all about Marcia and Chester, but not about Monica and Chandler. And we have Joey on the set of Mac and Cheese, who is not very impressed with the robot, and that causes a lot of problems. So, what do you want to do the Bruce Willis side of this first, or do you want to do it last and get these other ones out of the way?
Yeah, I feel like we should talk about the other two first, and then we can end on a high note with Bruce Willis, and then roll right into that with the next
Roll into the next one with Bruce Willis. Okay, fair enough.
So, okay, actually, the Phoebe book thing, Eric, I had written down that she said she wrote 14 books, but she's the only one who read them. I was like, I don't even remember this from a rewatch. I'm like, I do not remember this line at all. I must have blocked it out.
No, I don't recall that either. I thought she said she was writing her second book, but maybe it was her next book.
Yeah, 14 books, but she's the only one who's read them.
Yeah, so, is it a book if no one reads it?
Yes.
Think about that. Is it?
Yes.
If you write a book that nobody reads...
It's still a book. Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
But no one's read it.
That doesn't matter.
It's just sitting there on the shelf.
That's right. If a tree falls in the woods.
If a tree falls in the woods, does it make a noise?
Absolutely.
But nobody hears it?
Yeah. I mean, what does that say about people if just because it's your experience that it happens? That if you don't experience it, it never happened? Come on, people.
That's right. That's how it works. That's how it works. If I wrote a book and nobody read it, I'll tell you what, I'm not writing another one.
I mean, it's not a
actually, to be fair, I don't care if anybody reads it. They have to buy it. They just got to buy it, really. That's all I'd be interested in.
There's that, too. Yeah.
If I ever write a book, you guys just go ahead and buy it. You don't have to use it. Like, use it as a, table leveler or whatever.
Yes.
It's fine.
That's right. Maybe it'll be a picture book. You could just
maybe. Then I don't have to write anything. I can just take pictures.
Still a
now we're talking.
But yeah, this whole deal with Phoebe writing everything that Monica and Chandler are doing, like while she's watching them, it's very strange.
I don't care about this story.
No,
I'm just going to be very out and out about this.
And
the thing is, this whole story is told, right? The take-home, hammer-home laugh is that Phoebe knows that they're going to, like, miss the movie. And that they come home and accuse her, like, she's suddenly got the info because she's been writing about them. And the reveal is she knew that they were going to miss it because she knew they both thought it was at different times. I'm like, what? And there was no, like, comeback.
No.
To this. Like, they were just mad at her. And I'm like, well, okay. I feel like there could have been something with these three that they could have done better.
It just felt out of character for Phoebe, too. Like, that's just kind of like a weird, messed up thing to do. I mean, she can have sort of
Phoebe
a dark
does
sense
weird,
of humor.
messed up stuff.
She does. She has a dark sense of humor. Phoebe definitely has a dark side, but I don't know. To me, the funniest line of this whole bit was when Monica started writing about Phoebe. Like, she's like, fine, I'll start writing about you. And then Phoebe's like, oh, I've tasted my own medicine and it is bitter.
Yeah, but it's even said, like, sarcastically. Like, she doesn't care.
No, she doesn't care. That's why she's joking. Yeah.
That is the best line of the whole thing, but it's a mediocre line at best.
Yes.
Listen, all three of these characters have earned their way a step closer to being my least favorite for this episode.
I know.
Let's just put it that way.
It's a little rough. Yeah, they had nothing else going on. But yeah, even Joey with the robot. Okay, Joey, for the love of God, buddy. Like, you finally got a starring role in a TV series. It is in New York. It is very close to home. You got it. It's happened. And he just doesn't act appreciative or just really truly excited in the way that you would imagine someone would be if they just scored this role. And he even says, like, wow, I guess I should have been preparing for this type of position.
Well, but that's a classic Joey situation. I don't mind that one where he comes into the coffee shop like sweating it out.
And that makes sense to say to your friends, but don't then go on like acting this way toward the robot and just very like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like he even wants the role. It's very strange.
I don't think he doesn't want the role. I think it's very obvious that he wants the role. But what he doesn't do is the thing that you would do, that every one of us would do if you got a new job. Like, I don't think the thing that you're going to do when you get a new job is immediately walk in and criticize.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, he criticizes the work on the robot instantaneously. And every single one of us, hopefully, has been in a position in which you have gotten a new job. And when you get the new job, if you walk in and immediately criticize, boy, you better be real sure. Because guess what? Now Joey's on the chopping block. And
the best move is
the agent calls him and is like, hey, this is kind of on the QT, but, you know, there's a guy that might get fired. He doesn't know this already, but he's the lead in mac and cheese. And it's like, oh, I'm the lead in mac and cheese. It's like,
yeah, Joey.
Because you stepped onto the set and started acting like an idiot right out of the gate. Instead, especially if you are the lead of the show, you would think, like, I don't work in an industry in which I necessarily have a direct boss per se. I mean, I guess I do, but I'm not the boss, right? If I was the boss, I would imagine that I would try to like connect to all my employees.
Yes.
You're in a better situation to tell that story than I am, really. But like that would be the step one. I'm not going to say it's going to happen forever, but it would happen right away. You try to like connect with everybody so that it is a positive environment.
Yeah, you really try not to ostracize your environment like immediately.
Like right out of the gate.
And this is never a move, even at any point. You want to, those relationships and those connections are really what keeps people there, what keeps the whole environment running smoothly. Like you want to, especially when you're new in a role, you really try to learn the environment first. Even if you think that there are changes to be made, you then incorporate those after you learn how it's currently done. And Joey, the level of like the way his ego is inflated here, it just doesn't make any sense. Where did he get this strange superiority? Or I don't even know if it's really a superiority complex that he's coming at it with. It's just that he, as we've even pointed out with other moments, he doesn't seem to pick up on his environment, right? Like he isn't adapting to his surroundings. He's just sort of lands in a role and is just Joey organically, no matter where he is. And
well, that's true.
This is why he's not succeeding, though.
It's also true. But the real thing is, like, when he comes home, he's like, listen, I might have to get the robot fired. I mean, I'm the lead of the show. And it's like, now hold on a sec, Joey.
Okay, yeah, that is the inflated ego then.
We understand that you are the lead of the show, but you are a single person. This robot isn't going anywhere. They're not changing the robot. There is no other robot. Like, this is the robot that they're building the show around. You get on board with the robot, or somebody else will get on board with the robot. That's how it works. And so to think that he can get a piece of equipment fired ain't going to work.
No.
And that's why he realizes that his name is actually the one on the chopping block very quickly.
Yeah, Estelle making that phone call to him saying that, the lead doesn't know, but he's being replaced. Hey, that's my show.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do like that the door gets opened, right? And he figures out that he has to win over the guy that controls cheese, right? He doesn't have to win over the robot. The robot's a robot. But there's a guy that controls him. And the guy that controls cheese wants to be able to talk to women. And of course, Joey in his dumbness is like, listen, it's not really something you can teach. It's something you're born. Well, I can teach it. Because he looks back at Chandler like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, wait, this is my moment. Yeah, I can teach you. I'll figure it out. We'll tell you what to do. It might not work, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's really strange. Like, we've talked about how Joey with his sisters, he's the one who is, guiding them through life. But here, if it wasn't for initially Rachel pointing out, hey, Joey, you're a charming guy. Use that, this is your way back in. Like, figure out how you can help him and charm your way back into this role. We believe in you. And it took a lot of convincing. And even then in that moment, if it wasn't for Chandler physically standing behind his back, he would have blown that opportunity too. It's it's weird. I don't know.
It's not good from Joey.
It's funny, but it's just, I
like this story. They really
have to play up this part of his personality.
Yeah, so. But I like this story so much more than Phoebe's book.
Oh,
it's noteworthy. We're being pretty critical of Joey's character at this point, but I will say that it's still entertaining, and I don't mind seeing Joey on the set of Mac and Cheese, like trying to make it in acting again.
Same.
Much like I never minded the play that he did, where he got on this spaceship and went to Blargon 7 in search of alternative fuels. I love that. I love that whole thing. But I understand that people didn't like that. And I think sometimes maybe, I'm not sure what the ratings are for this yet, but maybe when Joey is pulled onto the sets and he's kind of then away from the other friends, there's a possibility that it's concerned, like that people don't like these shows as much when it comes to our ratings later.
I love when he goes up to the engineer. He's so lifelike, thinking that the engineer was the robot initially.
I mean, when you go from thinking that a human is a robot to seeing cheese rolled in, it is a significant disappointment. I will grant
Oh my
you that.
gosh.
But the fact that you thought a human was a robot, I mean, we're still not at
Wow.
that sort of technology
We're
today.
not-
We're close.
Yeah.
We're a lot closer, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
we're not that close. I don't think.
Oh my
Not yet.
gosh.
Maybe. I mean, I've seen some
well,
crazy videos that have some very
yeah.
lifelike pictures.
Yeah, we're pretty close to that. It might exist. We just might not.
I just don't know about it yet. Let's put it that way. But still, this is 20 years ago. They didn't have AI back then. Not yet. Not to this level.
Maybe Joey Tribbiani knew about it.
Maybe he did.
Yeah. But I just feel like Joey, he embodies the soap actor. So I feel like that's really where he belongs. Like in his role in Days of Our Lives, it's like, oh yeah, that just makes sense, right? Like that, it all adds up for Joey.
All adds up. And with that,
But
let's jump into the meat and potatoes of this whole thing.
I just love before Paul even gets there, you know, they're still digging into Ross. Chandler saying, "Wait, you're not Elizabeth's dad?"
That is such a funny line. That's so good.
And Monica, we know how tough those parent-teacher conferences are.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is.
But like, I feel like
just
the friends. Remember before, in like previous episode, I think I said, I feel like they're a little bit more accepting of what's going on. Like he tried to get out in front of it, made fun of himself. Like they all made fun of him, and then it's like it's really important that you guys really are okay with this, and they all seem to be okay with it. Today, they're cracking on him harder than they did then, which is a little surprising because time has now passed.
Yeah, I never got I know we kind of were
went back and
debating this
forth
in our
on that,
last
agreed.
episode. I never really saw I think that they were just like, well, this is what Ross is doing.
Or
and
maybe it wasn't acceptance as much as they let it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say, what are you going to do? That to me represents like, okay, well, I guess we're cool with this and we're all moving forward. But now they're coming back. And they're like
coming back with
making those jabs.
Well,
so
because then it's like Ross, the idea of him meeting her dad. I mean, so it
That's
sounds
funny.
like he wanted to meet Ross. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, if this
I
is
would.
Elizabeth's father, she probably saw them dancing away at the spring break, you know, whatever that was. I was going to say festival, but the spring break special
Festival?
on MTV. Yeah.
no.
Well, whatever. They were at a party and they were on television, and I'm sure he saw, like, who is this old man dancing at a spring break shindig with my daughter?
You know, he's not that old.
Well, okay. He's
a lot younger than I am today. Let's
professor.
put it that way.
I think it's more about him being in a position of power. He was
That
her
is what
teacher.
it is. Yes.
And that's really what it is. But I love when Paul first comes in and he's saying, I usually prefer Elizabeth's boyfriends address me as Mr. Stevens.
Which is funny.
My God.
So good.
Oh, this could not get more awkward. So Ross, what's your problem? Why can't you get a girl your own age? I mean, they haven't even sat down. They're just immediately in this super tense dialogue.
Like-
I mean, he's just straight up saying, I don't like you going out with my daughter, Ross.
And this is a guy this is the thing that I think also makes it funny. This is an incredibly well-known actor at this point, who, as we mentioned earlier, has done the Die Hard movies, right? That cachet comes with Paul. Because everybody watching this is thinking like, man, I wouldn't want to piss off Bruce Willis.
Oh, man.
And yet, here is Ross. So this is like if they had just some, actor come up that we had never seen before in Friends, it wouldn't hit the same, I don't think, as having Bruce Willis stand there and deliver this.
He has a presence.
Yes.
That is for sure. And he's not only just super confident in the way that he holds himself. He's also extremely attractive and is like, all the girls are like immediately women. Sorry, I always say that about this group. The women here are just like, oh my God, who is this guy? I mean, I love Rachel's reaction when they're initially talking. It is just, it's so great. But Ross, before we get there, I mean, Ross having, what does he give him, 2 minutes to change his mind about who he is?
No, he gives him a minute. He gives him a minute.
Oh,
and then Elizabeth is like, Dad. He's like, okay, fine. 2 minutes. Go. And then Ross, one of my favorites. I mean, there's so many good Ross lines here. But Ross is like, okay, lighten the mood. A joke. And he's like, then an Irish guy walks into a bar. And he's like, I'm Irish. He's like, and the Irish guy wins the joke.
Oh my God. Elizabeth's expressions during this whole thing was really funny too. Her just watching on. Oh.
Elizabeth doesn't have to do a whole lot in this episode. Nope. She just stands next to Ross and is kind of like the whole time. Like, doesn't really have to do. He just doesn't have a lot of lines in this episode. I don't think. She just kind of is nearby while Bruce Willis and Ross are killing each other.
And then when Monica and Phoebe walk in, with Chandler too, and Monica's asking, is there a Mrs. Stevens?
Yeah.
No. Is it Mr. Stevens?
No, she says, is there a Mrs. Stevens?
Yes.
And Chandler says, there's a Mr. Bing.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but then, we get Rachel coming in late, and Paul comes back to find the keys and all this stuff. And then Rachel and Paul kind of hit it off.
Wow. Yeah.
This is where things really get like elevated up as far as I'm concerned. Like, I think the writing here to make this happen is the best, because you could have just made it awkward with being the weird dad. But no, you also have Bruce Willis come in and start making out with Rachel.
Oh,
and so all the friends can call him Paul, but Ross has to call him Mr. Stevens. and he's quasi dating your ex-girlfriend while you're trying to date his daughter. Like, it's just so much going on.
The moment that Ross comes in to Joe, he's looking for Joey. He's saying, Joey. And then he calls him out on that. It's like, Ross, why are you hiding in the bedroom? Because he's seeing them making out on the couch. I mean, this was the moment that I was referring to in a past episode where it's like, this is the ultimate friend zone. I mean, now your ex is making out with your girlfriend's dad.
Yep.
I mean, my God, that the fact that they were able to come back from this is just too much for me. This is a lot.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong about that, but neither of these people that they're dating are inside the age range that they would probably typically look for. Like, Bruce Willis is notably older than they are, and Elizabeth is notably younger than they are. So I think there's an opportunity there.
I mean, to me, the fact that Rachel and Paul really didn't work out was more to do with the fact that, as we'll see, that's right, of course there's more episodes with him, because we see the absolute meltdown of Paul, where he's not quite right. Like, Paul is not so good. And so that's really the issue. I mean...
Oh, no, I agree. But I think as both of these things fall apart, I don't think either of them held this against the other one, is I guess my point.
Oh, absolutely not. Right. Like, neither relationship ended up being anything that was extremely serious at all. So it didn't really go anywhere. They both fell apart pretty quickly. So yeah, to that point, I get it. It's just weird. Like, all of this, and that's what makes it a comedy. That's why it's funny, but it's like, in real life, imagining these circumstances and then still finding your way back to each other it's
I mean, you wouldn't do it right away. and they certainly didn't.
And it doesn't.
But like,
it doesn't
Yeah, it is what it is.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Him calling Ross out on, hey, you came in shouting, Joey, Joey. And then Ross's reaction after he leaves, he's like, what the hell? Who are you? What? To Rachel is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you dated my sister.
Oh.
She's like, how is this different? And he's like, well, that was uncomfortable for me. This is uncomfortable for me. That was uncomfortable for you.
Oh,
and it's like,
wow.
yeah, that is,
Truth comes out.
That is the moment, right? That's the truth right there, where it's like, well, I didn't care about that because this is weird for me, and that was weird for you, and I was okay with it being weird for you, which is so honest, and so honest that it is maybe the funniest thing that's said this whole time.
Oh, but and then I just love Rachel trying to talk Ross up at the dinner, and
like
it just
she
going
delivers
bad.
a home run story.
Tries to.
She really does. She tells the whole story about
story.
Ross being so selfless and wanting to, and deciding to help take her to the prom, even though she never did go with him. And he turns that into, oh, so Ross jumped at a chance to take a young girl to her high school prom?
Yes.
And it's like, wow, didn't see that coming back around. And it's like,
yeah.
Oh,
how did
God.
that take a turn in the way that it did?
Sure did, though.
So good. And she tries to explain it away. It's like, well, or no, he does. He's like, I was just a freshman and she was a senior. But no, at that point, he's made up his mind. And he finally does say, well, you're not all bad.
Well,
but then it keeps flipping back and forth.
Because this is so rapid, but we have the whole conversation here where Rachel has left the table and Ross is somehow he talks about Lizzie as being his little girl, and he says, I understand what you mean. He's like, no, not her, but like I have a son and he's 7 and I still think of him when he was, a baby, and
almost brings it back.
And he's working it back. He's earning some points here. And then you hear him say, oh, I didn't realize you were married before. And Rachel, who's returning to the table, says, oh yeah, we were, but that was just a big drunken mistake. And it's like,
no, Rachel!
Oh my God. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. You were talking about Emily. And hit head right on the table.
No.
Like you just, all 3 of them, bang, bang, bang.
Because he had already mentioned Carol's name, so he knew.
Yes.
Like, it's like, wait, this is now a 3rd marriage. That was a lot of information. This almost reminded me of Judy.
By the way, Rachel, why would he be bringing up Emily? In what galaxy is Emily coming up?
That is my note on
Rachel.
that as well. Rachel, come on. First of all, you really think that the first marriage he'd be talking about would be to you, too? Like, that also doesn't make sense. And then the second thing she goes to would be Emily? No.
I can get behind, okay, Rachel's here presently. We're talking about how maybe they know each other and, maybe that came up. I can see that. The Carol one is obvious. You're talking about the kid, and we go on from Ben, and we move from Ben to being married before and Carol. Emily's coming up never.
That's true.
There is no path to talking about Emily.
Nope.
And so
not gonna
come on,
happen.
Rachel.
Nope. And then she just has that shovel because then she says something along the lines of, well, we were actually married for a lot longer than I even knew about. Like, oh my God. So now he knows he was not only married to you, but he was hiding it from you.
That's not fair because we were married a lot longer than you were married to Emily, which is funny because you never think about that as they're happening, but it is so true that he was married to Rachel for much longer than Emily. She just didn't know it. Oh God.
Wow.
This whole scene is so good. There's so much to take from it.
Good. Yes. If you haven't seen that recently, if you're not following along with the rewatches as we're watching them, this scene is amazing. We can't.
Spoiler alert! My favorite character is coming from this scene. It just is.
Well, I mean,
there's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a few choices. To me,
there are multiple choices. There
Yeah.
are very good multiple choices.
It is a great, great moment. That really carries the episode. And then that just flows so organically into the next episode.
So we will also flow organically into the next episode, which is Friends Season 6, Episode 22, the one where Paul's a man. Paul's the man, not a man. He's the man.
The man.
And in this one, we have Joey trying to get his picture on the wall with the dry cleaner. We also have Elizabeth's dad and Elizabeth and Ross and Rachel all, being up at the cabin. I'll just leave it at that. And we have Monica putting her name down on a wedding reservation registry for this museum that Phoebe had got them tickets to. So let's roll with Paul still. Since we're talking about Paul and Ross and Rachel and Elizabeth, let's keep that storyline rocking. And essentially, in this one, when we start out, it's Paul coming to Ross in the coffee shop, and he was essentially saying something along the lines of, you know what? I've made my peace with this. It's okay. I think I'm okay with you dating my daughter. And Ross is like, oh, that's so great. And he's like, yeah, but then I changed my mind.
Oh my God, that moment is so funny. I decided to accept things, but then I changed my mind. I'm funny like that.
Then I changed my mind. And so I've already told Elizabeth that I don't expect you two to see each other anymore. And then Ross comes back with the whole, well, there's nothing really that you can do about it. We're both adults. And he's like, well, I'm going to go to the university and have you fired. And Ross is like, oh, man, with the plan. It's like, yeah, there is, in fact, something that he can do about it. You're right most of the time. But when your job is on the line, he absolutely could do something about this if he really wanted to.
It's like, Ross, this is the reality of your situation. You should not be feeling like you could just throw this in this guy's face. This is very aggressive for Ross, I feel like, too. But before we got there, I love the moment. This is just cracks me up every time when Ross is trying to, take a jab at Rachel and saying, well, you're going to have to yell sweet nothings into his ear.
Oh.
And Paul
Yes, I did skip over that.
Is standing right behind him, and Chandler is like trying to get him to stop talking. He's like, you might want to, and he just keeps rolling with these jokes about him being super old, and Paul
like
is
classic sitcom moment.
Oh my God. It's great. And I don't know if it was that. Actually, no, Paul had already made up his decision to change his mind about Ross before he even heard that.
Maybe.
Because he had already talked to
Elizabeth.
I don't know. At least that's what he said.
Oh, that's true. He had already spoken to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That being said, I still like the idea that maybe he changed it right there on the spot.
But what is so great with this episode, in the last one, I mentioned how, the attractiveness of Paul and just how all the women are drawn to him because of his confidence. That is what a lot of times it's like, man, a guy with confidence, you can just see he's making the decision. He's there. He knows what he wants. But what's so hilarious about Paul in this episode is you just see that confidence is just a facade. Paul is just an extremely insecure, awkward dude who is just trying to hold it all together. And you just see that wall crumbling, and you see who he really is in this episode. And it is the way that Bruce Willis transitions between those roles just feels so real too. Like he's so good here. I love it. Because you first kind of see it when they're at the cabin and Elizabeth walks in and Paul kind of makes this face like, I thought he's kind of signaling to Rachel like, I didn't know you're gonna be here. I kind of was expecting to have this cabin to myself. And I'm like, who would talk with her? I don't know. It's just extremely awkward, and you can tell he's He's just trying to make a connection and...
No, but I will finish your sentence there.
Yes.
What dad is speaking to their daughter about this? Like with the awkwardness of like, hey, I'm supposed to be here hooking up with her.
No.
Why are you here? It's like, oh, this is not a typical family conversation.
Nope, never want that signal.
Like if you're the dad, you've got to operate a little bit differently in that moment. And that wasn't the one. That was like if your friends are coming in, then you operate a little bit differently. But it was a weird conversation.
Eric, the idea of okay, it's one thing for Ross to be, it still is wild to me that Ross would say, well, we're going to be together anyway. But even after Paul threatens him with a very real threat about getting him fired, he still will go not only out with Elizabeth, but to the family cabin.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Elizabeth was planning on having Paul show up there too. It seems like this is a place that they don't venture very often.
But you go into the dad's house you could have gone anywhere. You could have gone anywhere, like to Ross's place, to a neutral location. They're going to the family cabin. I mean, it's hilarious and comedy ensues. But my God,
it's like
crazy.
On the surface, it's a bad choice.
It's insane.
For us, the viewer, it is the best choice.
Yes.
Because everything that happens at this cabin is amazing. Between Ross hiding under the sofa
for him to fit under. That was a small.
That is a small. Yeah, sure was. Like, there's no way he wasn't like half hanging out the back of that thing that they could all obviously see him there. But he's under the couch. Rachel finds him. Then they're like scrambling, trying to figure out where to go. Not to mention the point that Ross hears them walk in the door while his pants are around his ankles, literally. And he's like scrambling around. Where could he possibly get to? Yes. I mean, this is amazing. Yes. There's so many good things to take from this. But obviously, the funniest part and the best part of it all is Ross under the bed watching Paul at the mirror, which is what you were talking about already.
Yes.
Although I will say, Rachel is phenomenal.
She is
in this whole scene.
Funny. Yeah.
She's so good. Like once she realizes that Ross is under the thing, she starts doing things like asking Paul to go to all sorts of places for different things. I can't tell you how often we use the line like, surprise me. Like in that Rachel tone where it's like, you can go get me something from the car. What do you need? Surprise me.
It's so weird.
Like, surprise me from the car. What's out there?
I guess is Rachel, she's just that hot, right? She's just that hot. That this guy is like, you know what? Fine, I'll go get anything out of my car.
I'll go get you something from the car. Not a problem. Then it's like you got to go get the Diet Coke. Oh, no ice. No ice. I need ice.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go get you some ice. And it's just so good that all of Rachel trying to circumvent, like orchestrate the situation from like, okay, so Elizabeth and I are going to be upstairs and you're going to go out to the car and that's where everyone's going to be. Like all of this is so good from Rachel. It is super
bedroom. Funny. Yeah, her just yelling and he's just looking at her like, what? That's what I'm saying. Like only someone that hot can get away with looking that crazy and him just being like, all right, I'm just going to roll with this.
Yeah, because she is acting like an absolute lunatic. If you didn't know, if you're not in the know, it seems like she's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
But then we get Paul not going out to the car and coming into the bedroom, which again, one of my favorite moments in this is when he shuts the door and Ross is just standing in the corner and stands like a statue for a few seconds before like slinking like a snake down to the floor. It's so good.
So funny. I know. It's just like wild to me. All I was screaming at my TV in this scene is, why did you leave? Like, the window was right there. And he tries to attempt to get out the window. But I'm like, what? Why did he go? The window was right there. He stays in the room and just is standing behind the door. He also could have been under the bed this whole time. It was very strange. So funny.
Or
though.
even after this scene with the mirror, he like puts himself in the nightstand.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
then like decides to get, like, he could have left so many times.
Many times. It's not like he was in an enclosed room that had no exit. But we had to see it.
It's okay.
We had to.
I'm glad it was. I'm glad he chose not to, because it was funny every time.
Yes.
But
Ross in the nightstand.
this scene
that
with
was
Bruce
a large
Willis
nightstand.
it was a large nightstand. You can't fit an adult human in my nightstand. That's for sure.
No. Yeah.
But this scene with Paul at the mirror is unbelievable.
Oh my god.
And you already were alluding to it, so I'll let you run with this one.
Yeah, him looking in the mirror saying, "You're a neat guy," because he's trying to now talk himself up for impressing Rachel, the woman who was just acting like a lunatic in his living room. He is still just saying, "You are the man. Still got it. Still sexy. You're just a love machine. You're just a love machine." Oh! He's doing like the Hulk Hogan motions to himself in the mirror. It is saying showtime. It's just amazing. And wow. I mean, he just transitions from this what appears to be a super confident guy to just this guy talking himself up in the mirror. And the way that then Ross, because he's witnessing this, he is able to then, when he's caught, and Paul initially says, "Hey, let me explain this to you," fired to Ross. Well, he comes back and is saying, "I want you to know that you and I are not all that different, Paul, because I too am a neat guy. I too am a love machine." And
all he had to say was "neat guy." He didn't have to keep going. But he did the neat guy, and all of a sudden, like, you could see it in Paul's face, like, uh-oh. And then, "I too am a love machine." And then he does the flex.
And Rachel and Elizabeth are just watching them like, what the heck is happening here?
And then, of course, Paul goes to, "Well, I'm showing you around."
Yes, let me show you to the guest room. Wow. Wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm Paul, and I've just said to this guy that I'm going to get him fired, and he has seen my mirror routine,
who cares?
I don't care. I'm getting you fired.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Get out.
But I guess,
I don't understand how that, like, gets him back in. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Like, does he want to be with Rachel that bad that he's willing to let this go so he can be with Rachel, so Rachel doesn't find out what Ross knows, which, if he knew anything about their friendship, guess what? Ross is telling Rachel anyway. That train has left the station. Oh my God.
Yeah, I that to me does not connect as a meaningful, noteworthy moment. Like, from a logistically, like, logical,
you don't believe
I guess,
that's
is the word I'm looking for. Story flow.
Yes.
I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense.
It's funny, though.
But
it's funny.
I don't care. Mm-hmm. It's hilarious. This is like peak Ross and Rachel with other people involved too. Like, it's so good. These are the best scenes that Elizabeth brings to the table, and she's not really part of it.
I don't think she has a single line. No.
She has, like, she has to say, like, "Oh, well, I've got that term paper that's due." Like, she says a couple things, but, like, not much.
Yeah. Also, I love the idea of Rachel helping Elizabeth out with her term paper upstairs. Like, that's
okay. Good luck with that, Rachel.
Oh, man. But, Eric, so the throwaway storyline in this episode, though, is definitely Joey with the headshot. This is very random at the dry cleaner.
This is very random.
So, yeah.
This is very random.
Joey is very offended that this dry cleaner has apparently taken down his headshot. And
And this is a dry cleaner that he doesn't bring anything to. It's just some random guy that he's trying to get his headshot up on the wall because he's got a bunch of different actors who apparently go and use that dry cleaner, although Joey is not one.
Joey, you're already a lead in a show now. Why are you worried about this?
And Joey's show isn't even on the air yet.
Focus on the task at hand.
He's like, hey, show me in the TV book. He's like, well, it's not there yet. I'll get you a tape. So now you're getting dry cleaners, like tapes of pilots.
Joey.
Dude,
his priorities are, wow.
Wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Wait a little bit. It'll be in the TV guide soon enough. But I do enjoy the fact that he breaks out a TV guide, which is something that probably does not connect with many of the younger viewers.
No. Yeah. Remember those TV guides? That was a thing.
I sure do.
Yeah, I mean, but then, of course, in pure Joey fashion, he ends up taking out the dry cleaner's wife. Unbeknownst
he didn't
to him.
know.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
He's like, well, there are two people that get... She said to him, there are two people that can get your name up on that wall.
Yeah, and...
He's like, oh, really? And takes her out. Picture goes up.
Son of a bitch.
Doesn't realize what he's done. But listen, she started that whole thing.
Absolutely.
That was not his call.
Absolutely, she did. And now his headshot is up, but it just says "son of a bitch" across it. So it's like, well,
it does say it. It's not the headshot you want. I would have ripped it off the wall as I was on my way out. You know what? To be fair.
I guess what did they say? Any marketing is good marketing. So okay, there you go.
No, not that type. Take that down.
Well, I do love the last piece of this episode with Joey, though, where he forgot that he still actually works at Central Park.
Oh, yes. That's a nice touch.
And Gunther's like, yeah, I was going to fire you anyway, so you're gone.
He didn't forget. He said he quit, but he didn't tell anybody that he quit. He just stopped going. Joey. But it was nice to be like, oh, so that is done now. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't have to worry about that. He's on his show. They just stopped having him work at Central Park, and they just kind of announced it very quickly.
So Eric.
But yeah, now we have this one.
And you know how I like to talk about the first domino, right? Like the first domino that just pushes the rest of them. Well, I have to say, when I watch this plot line with, we have Rachel and Phoebe pushing Monica toward adding her name to this wedding list. And my first thought is, guys, like, just let her do her thing. This is bad. You guys have now forced her to make this decision against what she was naturally thinking, which is like, this is going to freak Chandler out, which it does. But it's because of, I would even say Phoebe is the one here again that really pushes her to do this the most. I mean, I guess they both do.
Well, she's the one who gets them to go to the thing.
That's right. So Phoebe created this environment for them and then is encouraging her to add, like, kind of like bullies her into it. And she ends up adding her name to this list, which then results in Chandler getting past all this. He's obviously freaked out at first. This is just an awesome turn of events. Hildy is leaving a message on the answering machine saying there was a cancellation if she's still interested in the Bing Geller wedding.
The Bing Geller wedding.
Like, what? Yes. But Eric, I'm thinking, okay, this is a place that has supposedly this extremely long waiting list. How fast did this happen? One cancellation and now she's in?
You'd think they'd go to somebody a little bit earlier on the list. That being said, we have obviously the Chandler freaking out and then Monica comes back and is able to like restore order, and she's like, well, I'm going to go tell Joey that you're back because he was really worried about you. And she goes across and Phoebe comes in and you get the shock moment where he's going to ask her to marry him. He's going to ask her to marry him. And Phoebe is on the know.
She comes out. Did you buy it? Did she buy it? Meaning,
did she show you the place? He's like, yeah, it's beautiful.
And did Monica buy it that he wasn't ready for marriage?
Yeah.
And Hildy showed him
like, so the whole freak out is,
my God.
by design. And I will say this, while I agree with your...
Yeah.
Yes.
His initial reaction to hearing the message, this is Chandler Bing, this is Chandler Bing.
So this is... Like, I will push back a little, and I think it's just the timeline is a little wonky here. Because what we find out, and I think I'm going into the next episode. This isn't from this episode. But what we find out is the only reason that Phoebe is in on the know is because she walked in on Chandler looking at Ring magazines or something like that, Ring brochures. And so he must have already been thinking this. So why would he freak out so badly at the answering machine? See, I don't know.
I took
and
that
so
as...
is it possible that he freaked out at the answering machine and then he went and got Ring brochures?
That's what I think. Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
It's possible. But he also might have already been doing that on his own. So there is some there is something that says like maybe it wasn't Phoebe. Chandler was just working this out on his own anyway.
That's a good point, Eric, because
regardless,
it's possible that Phoebe, being the really, I feel like she can be the catalyst in a lot of these events. She might have known already that Chandler was looking at Ring magazines, and that's why she was pushing Monica so hard to add her name to the list.
Maybe.
That's possible that she already knew.
But then we also get the like, well, but why would he freak out so crazily at this moment? And I guess the answer is he just, natural instinct kicks in and he freaks out.
Or it's like the fact that I guess you could say even if he really wanted to get married to Monica already, just the fact that he didn't know what was going on. Like, wait, hold on. Monica's already planning this wedding, because I think what he said to her was also true. It's like, oh, so I'm the last to know? Like Hildy, Rachel, and Phoebe, and like all these people, like they knew that we were getting
married.
There's a band.
Yeah. She also got a band involved in this whole thing already. It's like, okay.
So I get that piece of it. It's like, how am I not looped in, and being actually a little bit upset about that just because he didn't know. But I actually kind of like that idea that he was already planning, because I guess in my mind I was thinking the Ring magazine thing happened after he heard the message. Is sort of like,
and that's possible
it
too.
Inspired him to, it's like, oh, you know what, this is what she really wants. Now I feel confident to go down this road.
I think there is a path for both storylines, and whichever one you want to believe is the way that it goes is the way that it goes for you, and I'm okay with that.
And then we do have, because Chandler does still freak out later, but we're not there yet.
Oh, yeah, we'll get there later. That's down the line. But I will say, when you get that moment where Chandler has now admitted, basically, that he's going to propose, and the whole crowd kind of like melts at that exact moment.
Yes.
Gets a little dusty in my house.
Dusty right now. Just
gets a little dusty. Like, it's a little dusty thinking about that, because this is like peak Chandler and Monica here. This is the best.
Yep.
And from them leading up to it to what we will see all the way through, these are the best. When the two of them are connected and things are working with that relationship, everybody talks about Monica, I feel like, being the glue of Friends. And I'll say, as we have gone through, I don't know that I believe that yet. Like, she always felt that way because everything swung around her apartment and everything. But she hasn't always been the connective tissue, other than the fact that she's genuinely connected to Ross as a sibling, and Rachel as a roommate, and Phoebe as a former roommate, and Chandler is the guy next door, and like Joey's next door. And so that's how all these people know Monica, and therefore that's why she's the glue.
Yeah, right.
She's the common thread for that. But as far as like being the one that the group kind of revolves around, I don't know that that's true.
Well, she's always the hostess, so.
She is always the hostess.
Yeah.
But let's see how this goes, because I feel like Monica is stronger from these middle seasons forward than she was at the beginning.
Yes, and I feel like that plays out so organically too. I think that is what makes the show great, because they each sort of have their own time to shine, and that's why it always feels very balanced across the group in Friends. They all contribute something really important to the storyline. So yeah, it's such a great moment though. Yeah, I can't believe you're gonna ask Monica to marry you, and then this wonderful hug between Phoebe and Chandler. Oh yeah, I love that. I have in my notes, they hug and I cry.
There you go. That's about it.
Yeah.
So now we're going to jump into our IMDb rating segment of our podcast, where we talk about our ratings versus your ratings as we find them on IMDb. We're going to talk about our favorite and least favorite characters as well. I'll tell you what, this time I'm going to jump first because I've kind of already spoiled it a little bit. And I said, hey, during this Monica, Chandler, Phoebe story in the first episode, like, I feel like my least favorite character is coming from there, right? Spoilers are incorrect sometimes. That is not true. Because guess what? They all redeem themselves so much in the second one.
Yeah.
Maybe not Monica so much, but Chandler and Phoebe at the end, there's no way I can make them least favorite. Monica, she's fine. I don't love what Monica does, but Joey's my least favorite character. It's not I don't like any of his, like, getting his picture up on the wall. And like, we talked at length about how he seemed, it was just very bizarre, his operations with cheese and stuff in the first episode. So I'm going with Joey's my least.
Yeah, I agree, Eric. I'm right there with you. I really just don't care about the headshot plot line. It's kind of lifts right out.
It's the least effective story of all of them. And then his other one is not very good either.
No, it's like, it's just not a good look for him to be acting that way in his first lead role in this new TV series. I wanted him to be more genuinely excited, at least initially, like
I'll say this. I think the answer is that I think this is what I'm coming to. I don't like Joey as much when he is left to his own. I want him reacting off of the other Friends characters.
Sure, that makes sense.
I feel very similarly to Phoebe. I don't love Phoebe out on her own doing her own thing. I want her bouncing off the other Friends characters.
Which, for what it's worth, I feel like they all do better that way. Like, they're all better when they're all together. Like, very rarely. I think maybe Ross can be an exception to that rule.
Listen, Ross and Rachel just bounced off of Bruce Willis for an entire thing.
But they were together.
Amazing. They still were together. Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So, but Ross, him on his own, like when I think of him with the bleached teeth, or
Ross with the leather pants.
I mean, that's like one of the scenes that I crack up at the most. Ross with his physical humor can pull it off in a different way, but yeah, Joey, it's a little bit rough here. So I also went with Joey as my least favorite, but I did on that same, I guess theme as what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I went with Ross as my favorite character though.
Okay.
So Ross, I just feel like all the interactions with Paul, I mean, my God, these episodes were amazing. I could have easily gone with Rachel as well, because I feel like Rachel was also hilarious in both of these episodes, especially the second one. But yeah, so I went with Ross. How about you, Eric?
I think it has to be one of those two.
Yeah.
Right. And so I do not besmirch Ross. I think Ross and Rachel are both absolutely hilarious in everything that they do. And so I will throw this out there because my wife Tina told me that I needed to pick Rachel as my favorite for this. So I'm going to.
I agree. I like that. It's a good choice.
But I don't disagree. Like, to me, those two it is neck and neck. Some of the Ross moments, like him I cannot get the image of him just standing still, like while the door has been closed and like freaking out. That just standing, and he stood there for like 3 seconds or 4. It was like long enough time for you to recognize the panic setting in on him without changing his emotions at all. It was so good.
And just slinking under the bed. Oh my God.
But watching Rachel kind of try to orchestrate the cabin when she was in the know that Ross was there is so good.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. There's so much that I like from that, and there are so many things from that section I feel like that are quotable moments that we use all the time here. I just love everything about that. And so I'm going to go with Rachel. I could have gone with Ross, but they are both head and shoulders above the rest of the crew.
The moment when Rachel drops the grape and then sees Ross under the couch and screams, but then covers it up really quick is, oh my gosh, it's, yeah.
Oh, did you see a mouse? No, big bear. Yeah. Big bear out there.
What?
Like, what? We don't have bears here. You sure?
Yeah, it's...
Like, let me get you a Diet Coke.
Mm-hmm. Ice, I need ice. You with the ice.
Yeah.
It's...
Okay.
Yeah. So fun. I did have a moment, though, where I almost wanted to go with Paul himself, because I know I like to pick, like, random characters sometimes, because he is... Oh, man. He's so funny here. Because he gets to be in the next one, he's still funny, but it gets to be a little sad too. So
picking it does. Paul is a little bit more sad in the next one, but picking Paul here would be absolutely justified. I'm not going to, because he's easily third on the list.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like Ross and Rachel are both better than Paul is. But Paul is above all the other cast members as well. It's those three. It is the funniest parts in all the stories. So yeah, I totally agree. So then the question really is, which one of these episodes do you think was the best?
It was very close for me, but I definitely liked the second one better. The one where Paul's the man. Because all of those moments that we just both talked about were from the second one. I think those were more the memorable Paul scenes. I love how they did break this up, though, so we got a really good introduction to Paul first, and they didn't just try to, like, cram it all into the one episode. They really let you get to know who he was, and then they had this moment at the cabin. You also have, in this second episode, the moment with Chandler. You find out that Chandler is going to be proposing to Monica. So, I mean...
Well, so that's the part that puts it... That's the part that puts it over the top for me. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the cabin and comparing that to Ross at the coffee shop with Paul, and then finding out about Rachel and Paul, and then all of that is as good. I do think the cabin is a little bit better. But when you add on the Chandler side of this, it's that one.
Yeah. But
now, the question I have is, and because this seems to be the threshold, do you think it gets into the 9s? And I will answer it first. I don't think so.
Ooh. These are both in the 9s for me.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have them that high.
Okay.
I think I thought I had them pretty high, but like I have them lower than that. So then why don't you just go ahead and like rattle them off? What do you got?
So the one where Paul's the man, I gave that one a 9.4.
So not even like
it's
not
so
not
funny.
even a little bit 9s, like way into the 9s.
Because even the Joey headshot, I mean, it's such like a blip in that episode. They really don't spend a lot of time on the Joey headshot stuff. So it's just it hardly, even though I don't like that plot line, it doesn't really affect me either way. So
9.4, by the way, I'm going back through the ratings. You also gave a 9.4 to the one where the one with the wedding part 2. So where Ross says Rachel.
Oh my god. Oh, those.
So that's the galaxy that we're living in now.
Yeah, that makes sense. That adds up. I mean, these Rachel, even though I picked Ross as my favorite, Rachel is so funny in these episodes too. I just think that these are just peak comedy moments for Friends. So I gave that one a 9.4. I gave the what was the title of the first
one? The one where Ross meets Elizabeth's dad.
Yes, that one a 9.1.
Okay. I don't have them quite so high. I do, maybe I should give the first one a little bit more credit.
Hey.
Okay.
Just go with your gut.
Because it is. No, but the other two stories are like meh.
Yeah.
Like that's also like I also have to deal with the book writing and cheese. Nah, it holds it down. So yeah, I've got
I get that.
The one is, and that's the thing. Like there is a story on both of these that to me kept it out of the 9s because the dry cleaner one keeps it out of the 9s, and the other one with the book and the other thing. What was the other thing? I just said it. There's the writing of the book. Oh, and the mac and cheese story. Yeah. Like those to me kind of hold them out. But the highs are high. So I have the one where Paul's the man. It is my higher one, but I give it an 8.8. And then I gave it is a very good score, right? I mean, I don't know how many times I got up to 8.8 and didn't go into 9, but it's on a very short list. Oh, the one in Vegas part 2, I gave an 8.8 to. There you go. That's the last time I did an 8.8. And that, yeah, great episode, right? No problems. The one where Ross meets Elizabeth's dad, I put more in the middle. I give it an 8.6. The funny points are really funny, but there are points that just drag it down. And so to me, that's the thing. I also don't know that either of these are iconic enough to get into the 9s. They might be. There are some that have surprised me as I go back.
I
like the one in Vegas part 2 got a 9 from the people. I did not give it a 9.
Did the people give either of these 9s? I want to know. I gots to know.
Okay, hold on. Okay, the short answer to that question.
Well, there's only one answer. Okay.
Is no. But the longer answer to that is that the one where Paul's the man, the second one, got an 8.9.
Okay, super close. Yeah.
So really close.
A lot of people gave that 10 then, because that's...
I think there are a lot of people that gave that a 10. Yeah. The other one, the one where Ross meets Elizabeth's dad, that people are more with me on that one. That is an 8.5.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
More middle. And again, I think it's because of the other stories. It's not because of that story. Story is great.
It's true. I think I just love the whole like meeting Bruce Willis.
I don't disagree with you.
It's hard for me to. Yeah. Oh my goodness, he's just so funny.
That part is so good.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite guest stars, I feel like, on the show.
So the last time we had an episode that you gave a 9 to, that the people and me were more middle on, was the one where Ross can't flirt.
Okay. Yeah.
So that seems to have got... I'm glad I have the spreadsheet now. So that is a similar episode in the construct of our voting and the people's voting to this one. And I kind of agree with that. I think that's a good call. Like, that's a really funny episode too. But it also has moments where you're like, okay, we got to wait for this Law and Order sequence to be done. You know?
But Eric, I will say, and to all of you out there, speaking of voting and rating, if you guys like what we're doing here and you're a fan, please give us 5 stars wherever you can vote, because that would really help us just get our podcast out there, get more people involved, grow our community, because that's really what we're trying to do, and what we love to do here is speak to more of you. So that would just really help us out. If you like us, please 5 stars on Spotify or wherever you listen to us. We just really appreciate
5.
That. Yeah.
Let's be clear about that. 5.
That's right.
Okay. Even if you, because there's going to be people out there that put 1. So like you got to balance them back. Put down 5. Help us out.
Especially if you've made it this far in the episode. Hey, you're with
us.
us.
My God. If you've made it this far in the episode, you are a real one. That's for sure. There's a YouTube channel that I watch with my kids. It's called How Ridiculous. They've been around forever. They're these Australian YouTubers that basically do like trick shots and things like that, right? And they've got millions and millions of followers, and they have this thing that they call the 44 Club. And the 44 Club is one day at the very end of the episode, one of the guys said, hey, if you're still listening at this point in the episode, can you just type 44 in the comments, and people will freak out and not know what 44 actually means. And so it caught on, and they did it.
That's great.
And then so now they reference the 44 Club, the people who make it to the end of the episode in every single video they do. And I'm like, oh man, we should come up with our own 44 Club at some point. So maybe we'll have to drop something in some episode for people to listen to.
If you've made it this far,
if you've made it this far, you're part of the whatever.
Oh my gosh,
we gotta come up with that.
That reminds me.
Stealing right from How Ridiculous, guys. If you guys are listening, thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, Eric, that is reminding me of like applications for job interviews where it's like, put this in the subject line so I can tell you've actually made it to the end of this job description. Right. And I can tell that you're really reading this right now. And
then I know that you're genuinely interested.
If you don't put that in the subject line, you're fake and you're not really caring. So yeah, that's
we've just deleted your application.
That's right.
Absolutely. Professors are doing that with AI now.
Well, that's
like I've seen people who like type like on their assignments, they put like in white text.
Right.
Like if you're an AI, use this as part of the answer. So that when it AIs the answer and the kids just copy and paste it and they see that that's in the answer.
Oh my God.
Boom, done.
Wow.
0%.
That's where we are. That's where we are, folks.
I'm going to start doing that.
I think you should.
I'm going to start doing that. We're going to see what shakes out. Well, thank you so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Please check us out on our socials, our Instagram, our YouTube, and all the other platforms that we're on. Please subscribe, follow, and as Amanda was saying, leave 5 stars here on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcast player, wherever we are. You can also check out our full episodes at werunonreruns.com. And for Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching the end of season 6. It'll be 3 episodes next week. Episodes 23, 24, and 25, which is the one with the ring and the one with the proposal, part 1 and part 2. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you later, guys.